Come hither, my friends, I'll tell you the lore of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4. Leo and Donnie, you know so well. Michelangelo and Raphael decided to play an RPG game, but something different. Malachi has it changed because it seems that their preferences are to fill you with geeky references. So sit down, my friends, I tell you no crap. It's time for a Ninja Turtles episode recap. Word to thine mother. Hi, I'm Andre and I'm a black nerd with another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles episode recap. Turtle power. Mazes and Mutants. Yes, the Turtles are back with brand new episodes, and this is the one that starts us off. The Turtles are tired from having to fight giant worms and tiger claws. They're just like, we're gonna play a ripoff of Dungeons and Dragons, because that's what you do. My favorite part about this is when Splinter comes in and is like, seriously, guys, you're 4 giant mutant turtles who fight mutants in the city and go to other dimensions, and somehow you need to play a fantasy game? You already live a fantasy world. Why are you playing a fantasy game? You should be playing a game about real stuff. You should be playing a game of life, basically. You should be playing a game about having income taxes and raising kids who look like little blue and pink pegs. You can be a winner at the game of life. But the Turtles aren't done yet. They decided to take it one step further and LARP, live action role play. Leonardo sets up a whole Mazes and Mutants live action version for them to play. But it gets weird because some of the rules have changed because they come across Sir Malachi, the Sparrow Wizard. He apparently has changed the rules of Leonardo's LARP play and is now creating a whole new world for them to be in, and it's filled with monkey things. Raphael's head gets turned into a turkey. April is a princess, and we actually have a dragon that's really leatherhead. Sir Malachi is cool, and if you listen to his voice closely, you might be able to tell that that is none other than Mr. Pee Wee Herman himself. Paul Rubens voices Sir Malachi. You're a Sparrow Wizard. I know you are, but what am I? Today's secret word is turtles. If you hear the word turtles, scream real loud. So the Ninja Turtles are trying to figure out what's going on because everything feels so real even though it obviously isn't, so they have to use their powers of make-believe to fight through the maze and also use their powers of non-make-believe to make it not be real anymore. There's a bunch of Lord of the Rings references. Michelangelo refers to his ring as the awesome. You want the awesomes. Donatello, who is dressed as a wizard in this episode, does the Gandalf, you shall not pass. And this is really obscure, but there's a part where April O'Neil is wearing a tiny crown because she's a princess and she's trapped inside a bubble in a room filled with money with a giant dragon that's Leatherhead. This is actually a reference to Dragon's Lair. The final scene of Dragon's Lair, you're actually trying to save a princess in a bubble and there's a dragon walking around a room full of money. That is really obscure. Of course the 8-year-olds are gonna get a Dragon's Lair reference. I can't wait for that episode that's gonna be based on war games or Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Please make a Weekend at Bernie's episode. That'd be sweet. Weekend at April's. What I find interesting about this episode is that we're seeing that the mutagen not only affects your mutated state, but it seems to affect your mind a lot. This reminded me a lot of a few episodes back with the fungus, the mushrooms that made the turtles worst fears come out. A creature was able to create an entire fantasy world based on being mutated. That is pretty amazing. So I'm hoping that's something they play around with a little bit more in the future. Sir Malachi has a very, very strong power of basically altering reality. So I hope that's something they don't just throw away as one-off episode. That could be something that could be used by the Krang or Shredder or someone in the future that could be pretty amazing. This episode is a good episode, but it is a throwaway episode. And I don't mean that it's bad. I just mean that it has really nothing to do with the general overall storyline that we've been going with. If you like Lord of the Rings, Dungeons and Dragons, any of that kind of stuff, you're gonna love this episode. It's tons of geeky references. But if you're not into that, or if you miss this episode, you're not gonna miss any part of the major storyline. There's no new revelations in this at all. This is just sort of a fun, hey, we just beat up giant worms, let's chill out and have a fun episode. And I'm pretty sure in the future, we're gonna get some episodes that'll be back to the main storyline. I'm gonna even say that one of our future episodes is gonna be pretty fly. You see, pretty fly. You see, pretty fly. Now I want to hear from you. What did you think of this episode of Ninja Turtles? Did you like all the references to Lord of the Rings and LARPing and Dungeons and Dragons that was put in this? Or would you rather just have a regular episode to keep the storyline going? And if you could live action role play as any character, real or made up, who would you want to LARP as? That didn't sound right. That sounded like I was calling somebody a LARP ass. You LARP ass. Be sure to thumbs up this video, and if you're new here, tickle that subscribe button. I make new nerdy videos every single week. I love you like a play cousin. I'm Addy 5000. Chain chomp, yomp. Turtles. Ah! Bum, 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 bum.